Well, hello out there, and welcome to episode 212 of Convincing Idiots. This week, we're discussing a lot of topics. One, Bath and Body Works has put out the scent of white supremacy. Maybe on purpose, maybe not. We're going to talk about that. It's very strange. We are also going to be discussing fan etiquette in sports. When is the right time to cheer your team? When is the right time to boo your team? Is there a right or a wrong time? We're going to discuss that. And for our main segment, we are going to be discussing some of our favorite portrayals of devils and demons in pop culture, whether that be film or TV. So stick around, listen, get ready, and without further ado, let's start the show.
Enjoy your whatever that is.
All right. Test.
Test.
Call it again.
Convincing idiots.
Convincing idiots.
Called it ham gravy.
I informed them that I sided with the stat man, not just anyone's opinion, the stat man Brian Fisher.
These kids today.
Jingle All the Way is in fact the best Christmas movie of all time.
I need to get Grandma a present, and my herpes is flaring up. I got it.
Yo, yo, yo. I'm the millennial
We're
Santa.
three friends representing three different generations. That's our whole shtick. That's our thing.
Nick got the whole poop.
I'm standing in the sea
Caucasian.
breeze, holding a turd, just mightily. I'm just going hitting hats.
Anyway, on a lighter note,
Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the vodcast. Welcome to the broadcast. Boys and girls, welcome to the show. This is Convincing Idiots. My name's Dean. They call me the Zennial.
I'm Brian Gen X.
And I am Nicholas, the millennial. And we are Convincing Idiots, a weekly podcast of three friends representing three different generations. We get together here almost each and every week to discuss all things nerd and pop culture. So, if you have not already done so, do yourself a favor, shock yourself, and go over to all of our social media accounts. Like, subscribe, rate, review, all that good stuff.
We can
And
get away
rather
with
than
it with
list
Brian's
them
podcast.
all off for you, I would invite you to go to Google and type in Convincing Idiots Linktree, Linktree, and you can follow links to all of our social media accounts as well as our merch store, which you can find Convincing Idiots merch. I don't know why I'm holding this up. You can't actually buy the hockey jersey that I'm wearing. That is special for us. What's that?
Why would you do that then?
I don't know. I was just, I'm repping the show, and then I was like, well, as I was doing it, I'm like, you can't buy this, but you can buy
Everything
other cool
has a
shit.
price. Everything has
right.
a price.
That's right.
Post
You can.
merchandise at the special rate. Come ask us.
That's right.
That's right.
You can buy merch. That's right, from us. You can also find our email address on there as well, and a link to our website, which is convincingidiots.wordpress.com. So be sure to stop over there as well. Check it out. Learn a little something about your hosts that you like to listen to each and every week, and most importantly, tell all your friends if you love them, if you care about them. Let them in on the little golden nugget in your life for your ears, Convincing Idiots. Let them share in the joy of this podcast with you. We are coming up on the season of giving. But as for now, 'tis spooky season, and it is time for another week of Convincing Idiots. Brian, what is happening in your lair?
It's scary.
Well, first of all, boys, what are you drinking this evening? I'm curious.
Ooh. I will start because I have got a little concoction of my own. It is Jim Beam vanilla and apple cider, baby. I am fall ready.
Oh. I am enjoying a pint of Magic City Brewing Company's Binks. It is a pumpkin spice latte blonde, and it's delicious.
Very good.
Brian, what are you drinking?
I have
Motherfucker?
more Great Lakes Oktoberfest.
Yes.
Solid,
Very
baby.
good.
Solid.
Yeah, very good local. Yeah, very good. As for what's new with me, not a whole bunch. Just
We didn't ask.
yeah. Well, no, he did. He did.
I retract it. Don't care anymore. We talked about drinking, and now I don't care what you've done.
Well, it was nice to see you guys last weekend at Dean's
False.
son's birthday party. And
Oh, yeah.
Nick and Robin.
It was not. Fake news.
Nick and Robin have a very nice annual fall event where we have breakfast in the morning over at Nick and Robin's, and then we go out to a local winery, Apple Orchard, and have a nice fall festivity afternoon. So it was a beautiful weather this whole weekend. So
Yeah, it really was.
yeah, it's very nice. And I've been doing some hiking this week. So Summit County in North Carolina has that fall hiking spree. You hike so many trails, you get a shield for your hiking.
We can tell.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I've enjoyed some of the fall weather. So that's about it here, guys. That's about it. Dean, what's new with you?
What's new with me? Well, we had the party for my son. Will be 13 years old on the 30th. So not quite just yet, but
Yeah, hold off on all birthday wishes to Carter. It's not time
right.
yet.
Yeah, wait
Right.
for the week to
Yep.
happen.
Hold it.
But it's been kind of because he's so close to Halloween. We've always had his birthday parties of like a Halloween theme, where before it was like we'd all dress up and do a costume thing. He's kind of getting out of that. So now for the past 2 years, we've gone and done a haunted house after the party, taking a couple him and his friends. And I have never honestly been that much into haunted houses, or even like, I've said on here before, horror movies weren't ever my thing. But now with him, he is really kind of embraced the Halloween birthday and feel, that's his vibe.
He's a Halloweener.
He is a Halloweener, and I am learning to enjoy all of it. And rather than go through these haunted houses, cynically, what the hell are you doing?
Pouring the last of my beer into my glass.
Fair.
Mind your business. Tell us stories.
I'm sorry. Rather than go through these haunted houses cynically, I have embraced them, enjoyed them. Learned to enjoy like all the surroundings and the whole setup and the blood, the guts, and the gore. But also, what was the most fun was him and his three friends looked like the Three Stooges holding onto each other's coattails, walking in a line. Every time somebody would jump out, they would fall to the ground screaming. Man, that was so much fun. And like, I didn't even get to like enjoy any of like the scares because they would scare them and then look at me laughing my ass off. And I get like a tap on the shoulder, like a dad tap on the shoulder, like, there you go. And then walk by me. So nobody ever actually interacted with me in character. They just like, yeah, there you go, Dad. And which is fine. I don't care. I'm not there for that. It's all, when it comes to that, you don't need to try to scare me. It's all silly to me. But to watch them enjoy it as somebody should have, what I should have, but I never did when younger, which is fantastic. Excuse me. And then again, like Brian said, the next day we had the Apple Orchard, annual Apple Orchard. And if you go on to our Facebook page, you will be able to see our newly second year annual picture of the three of us holding hands, walking amongst the apples.
It's beautiful.
As God intended.
Yes, that's right.
But yeah, Nick, I'm not going to thank you because you have nothing to do with it. But
I made breakfast.
You did slave over some French toast, didn't you?
I scrambled eggs, thank you.
You did. You
It
did.
was very, very laborious, very hard work.
In reality, you did that, but your wife, my sister, puts together every year, you know, the group of everybody, family, and now friends. Everybody gets together once a year and does the apple picking together. We didn't get to pick a lot of apples this year because of the orchard, but we all got to spend time together, enjoy each other's company, and it was very nice. So
I would like a Harvey family program for next year, though, if you don't mind.
okay.
Who is who? The photo,
Family
name.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Who is
Yep.
this person and what's their deal? Yeah.
Hmm.
I have a branch that actually kind of goes straight rather than branches off, but that's another story for another day. Anyways, Nikolai, how about you? What have you been up to?
Oh, excuse me. Well, other than spending 2 weeks with, I don't know if I'd call it necessarily a cold so much as it is just sinuses, allergies, dealing with all that shit, the weather
getting old.
change. I guess so. Yeah, I guess I am. But you guys covered most of it. We had a
You
good
need to take
time.
that Zyrtec shit.
Yeah, right. But no, we had a good Saturday at Carter's party with the haunted house and everything. Always a good time. And then, yeah, the apple orchard and all that stuff. So you guys basically covered it. It was good for you to see you guys, this weekend, and good for you guys to come out to our house and all that stuff. So, but I do have a fun little story of something that happened to me a couple nights ago. So, and I've not shared this with you guys yet. The other night, so today's Thursday, on Tuesday night, starting last year, this is the second annual in the NHL. They have a thing where all 32 NHL teams play in one night. They play each other's 16 games happening. Okay. And last year, I had heard the story about somebody who put a 16 game parlay together and actually hit it. And I thought,
Wow.
that'd be fun to do every year for, just to try, right? So Tuesday night, I went through. Before all the games started, I made my 16 game parlay. Okay. And on Bet365, I bet $1. My $1 bet, if all 16 games hit, would be a total payout of $18,564.54. It's like hitting the lottery. Not impossible, but it's highly, highly unlikely. So I make my 16 game parlay. And believe it or not, I hit 9 out of 16. So I didn't actually win any money, but I did get a little over 50% of them right.
Jesus.
No money was won. So there's that.
Fucking odds and betting. Man.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it was not bad. A little over 50%. So I didn't win that, but second little whoop, here we go. The climax is coming back. I did happen to look at my phone.
We're old. We don't understand what that means.
And I noticed that I have a message on Instagram, and it is there's this I open up this message, and it's from this account called Our Year. It's a Leafs fan page, and they do like YouTube video content of like little skits and stuff about being a Leafs fan and all this stuff. And I get a message from them saying, "Congrats, buddy, you won." Like, what did I win? I forgot. 3 days prior, they had posted a picture of they were doing a giveaway. You could win a free, brand new Austin Matthews Fanatics jersey with the captain now because he's the captain. They messaged me. I fucking won the jersey, which is not $18,000, but that's a pretty. I mean, if you know me, as you guys do, and if you listen to the show, you know how big a fan. That's a pretty fucking cool thing for me to win. So yeah, they messaged me. They're like, send what's your size, what's your address, and then once I get the jersey, they'll send me tracking once it ships. And they said all we ask is that you post a little video saying that it's our year and thanking us and shouting out the. There was a couple different hockey Instagram profiles that got together to chip in to give away this jersey. So yeah, pretty sweet.
That's badass.
Yeah,
Awesome.
that was a pretty exciting thing. I was pretty happy about that.
Brian's a room with gonorrhea back in the 80s.
Right?
Yeah. Yep.
Are you okay?
Gift
thing
it
fall on your
keeps
head?
on giving.
That's right.
Mhm.
Right.
Okay.
Did you even get the certificate that they promised you? No.
No. No.
Is that the host over there next to you? Is that the
That is the host. It's
the
Robin.
host?
She was rummaging in my. Is that what you're talking about? What?
Yeah, tell her to pop her head in and say hello.
Pop your head in here with the new knot that you just got from that thing falling on your head.
For at
Wow.
least the YouTube crowd. There she is.
There
Hello.
she is, beautiful. Yeah, she was rummaging through my closet, which is a no-no. We talked about that, but she.
It's odd because you're not even at the closet.
But my Nick's bar sign that hangs over the doorway fell down on her head when she was in there. So I purposefully I booby trap it so that people will stay out of it.
Sure.
But, you know.
Good.
Yeah, but that's all that's up with us, and I think Robin's only mildly concussed. So
That's pretty good odds.
Yeah. Maybe she'll have some sense knocked into her and get out of there.
Yeah. Right.
No, he means the relationship.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, Dean, have you seen anything over the past week you want to recommend, sir?
Yeah, the only thing that I've seen this week. No, you know what? I was going to say one, but it actually just popped into my head. Before I get into the actual thing I watched because my job last Wednesday, I had to listen to the TV on mute, right? And I watched the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the one with from the early 2000s, 2004 maybe.
Oh, with what's Jessica Biel?
Jessica Biel, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
like the
With the white tank. That was the white tank top movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Was it a prequel?
Old white
That
tank
was a
top movie.
continuation, right?
No, it was a reboot. Like it was kind of the same story, just rebooted and whatnot. So I didn't get to hear it, but it looked fantastic. It actually makes me want to go back and watch the actual, with sound.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was able to watch of it. It was very good.
Watch the original. Original, I think, is 50 years old now.
Dude, I've seen the original over and over. I love that fucking original. That's why I never actually was able to watch it because I love the original so much. I was like, what could they do with the and the one thing that they did different than the original that I at least could tell without the sound is they made it a little longer than it probably should have been.
I thought that was a continuation of the first one. Or a prequel, something.
Maybe.
I'll have to revisit that.
If it is a continuation, it is this very similar thing happened.
Yeah.
The events once the kids got there, very similar things happened. But I mean, you might be right. Maybe they did call it a continuation. I don't know.
I have to look because I thought the movie started with the police were coming to the house after the end of the first one.
No, that's not what I thought.
Not that one. Then. Okay, then I'm wrong.
Kids start out on a dirt road and they find the one girl.
All right, then that's it. Yeah. It's a reboot then. Okay.
And the one thing that I'm going to recommend, I know I've been talking about it off and on the past few weeks, but after this past week's episode, Agatha All the Way. If you're not watching that, holy shit! It honestly, I don't care. Fuck the internet. Fuck everybody's saying whatever their opinions on the show, which oddly enough would be mine also. But I don't care. This show is fucking good.
Yeah.
Everything that Marvel has done, you can criticize the show here and there, or the Eternals, or what was the one Secret Wars, or not Secret Wars, Invasion. You could.
Winter
I
Falcon.
understand. Right. Sure. I get all of those arguments. I have at least watched those and go, okay, I get where those arguments can be. I can't see the flaws in this.
Yeah.
For what this is, for the story that they're telling through the magic side of Marvel, is fucking amazing. And this past episode, which I hear this next one, which will already have been out by the time you hear this, is like the best one. But this past one that I watched, fucking blew me away, man. Like every episode keeps getting better.
Yeah.
How many
Agatha-
episodes are out now? 4, 5?
7 or 8.
Really?
There's that
no.
many?
Yeah. One came out last night.
Right.
Out.
That's the one that you have already seen. It's already out by the time you're hearing this. I'm talking about the one before. That's the one because my Agatha all the way or all along watching.
That's a different movie.
It is. My watching is actually Thursday nights when we're done with this. I watched that. So.
Oh, so you haven't seen last night yet?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, you'll like that one. That's
I'm
good.
talking about the War.
Okay.
From what they've said, especially the kid that plays the teenager.
Kid? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he said that this next one, which is the one you already seen apparently,
is
the best one that they of the series.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah,
So
very
far?
good. Yeah,
okay,
very good.
I'm looking. Then so good night, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the show. I'm gonna go and watch. All right. So yeah, Agatha all along is 100%. I'm recommending.
Yeah, I think the last two come out next week or this week. They're releasing them right before Halloween or something like that. Of the 9, so it'll be all 9 episodes will be out.
Good.
Earlier next week, in time for Halloween.
Perfect.
Yep.
So that's what I've been watching and highly recommend.
Very good, Nick.
I haven't really watched much other than hockey recently, and then basketball season tipped off the other night. So
yeah,
Raptors got absolutely destroyed by the Cavs last night. So
yeah,
not the best way to start off the season, but I'm enjoying having hockey and basketball back. What's that?
Unless you're a Cavs fan.
Unless you're a Cavs fan, it's a great start. Very dominant start. Yeah. Mm-hmm. One thing I haven't watched yet, but am looking forward to. I did finish the. I was telling you guys about Face Off on Amazon Prime, which is like Drive to Survive for hockey, basically.
Is that Nicolas Cage and John Travolta movie?
Yeah, it's one like Austin Matthews and Connor McDavid swap faces. It's a very very interesting thing. Yeah. But I wrapped that up, and that was really good. And there is one on Netflix as well called Starting Five that is the same deal. It just follows like 5 NBA players around throughout the season and things like that. So I'm going to watch that one next. That one's next on my list, but haven't yet watched an episode. So I haven't really, it's been busy with getting ready for Halloween and everything. So I really haven't watched a ton. So, Brian, have you seen anything that tickled your fancy?
Well, just I know we watched some of the separately. It's when we were out last week, but the Cleveland Guardians baseball team made it to the American League Championship Series. Yeah, against the dreaded New York Yankees. So Cleveland could have taken a couple of those games at least. Had some tough losses there, but they weren't embarrassed. They just faced a really tough Yankees lineup. I think they hung in there for the most part with pitching for a lot of it, but just Yankees lineup was just too tough. But so kudos.
Feel like it was Guardians series. I mean, it felt when you look at that, you go, "Oh man, Yankees, just put them away." But when you watch those games, the Guardians were in a lot of those, and a lot of close games came back in a lot of games. It felt closer than just a 5-game series.
Not the last game, the game before. I'm
game
not
4.
a bettor. I don't bet, but they put it up on the show on the TV there. So I'm like, you know what? Let me go on to the betting app and give it a shot. So I put $10. It's $10, but it would have got me 100.
Nice.
They were 8 fucking hours away.
Yeah.
That's why I don't bet. Pieces of shit.
At least don't bet for the team you're rooting for, because at least
No.
if you bet against the team you're rooting for, you're determined you're bound to be happy one way or the other.
No, but
Yep.
if I would have bet on the Yankees, it wouldn't have paid out shit. $10 on the Guardians would have
Right.
paid me out 100.
Yeah.
And I thought, given the way their season had gone, about the way their series against teams have gone in the season,
Mhm.
it was a pretty decent bet that they would have probably won that game.
Yeah.
You know, 8 outs later, and Class A taking a shit.
Yeah.
Or
Whatever.
like
Yep.
Class B, am I right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
son of like Jose Mesa from '97 all over again.
Yeah,
Son of a
that was
bitch.
tough. Well, they exceeded expectations, I think, for many. So they had a good season. Allie and I rented
like
last
you and
Friday.
Ted.
That's right. Always exceed expectations.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, her expectations are really low. So
Yeah, that's where you have to start.
yeah.
To start low. We rented Beetlejuice, Allie and I, last Friday. It's available for rent now. Still a high price. We rented it for like $17. So it'll come down, I'm sure, after Halloween. Still cheaper than the theater, but it was okay. We enjoyed it. I mean, if you like the first one, you probably like the second one. Is it anywhere near as good as the first one? I didn't think so. But if you like Michael Keaton as Beetlejuice, you like the characters, you'll enjoy it. It was fun. So check that out. And then I had never watched the movie Ed Wood from all those years ago. Believe it or not, it's that movie. It came up in like I'm like searching through Halloween movies on Amazon Prime, and that one came up as an option. I'm like, man, you know what? I'm going to rent that movie. It is a fun movie. So if you've never
Ed Wood.
seen
I
Ed
recall, like
Wood,
I've heard of it. Who's in that?
Johnny
Yep,
Depp plays
Depp.
Ed Wood, who was
Right. Okay.
director, writer. He made some low budget movies, and Martin Landau.
George
Go
the
ahead.
Animal Steel is also in it.
Yes, that's right. Played a wrestler tour or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And Martin Landau played Bela Lugosi, who was an older man at the time and was in Ed Wood's, a couple of his movies. But Martin Landau actually won an Academy Award that year for Best Supporting Actor. And you can see why. Just a great job. So, again, if you've never seen Ed Wood, it's just a guy that's just trying to make a movie. That's really what it is. And how he came to make one of the couple of the worst movies of all time, they say, but his determination and everything made it happen. So it was fun. Johnny Depp's weird, but not over the top, too weird like he is in some other roles and all that. And it's a Tim Burton movie. I didn't realize that Tim Burton made this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
nothing could be more weird than that goddamn reboot of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
that's
That was
strange.
garbage.
Yeah. Yep. Nick's quote there was something like that movie was the weird to be weird or something like that. It was, something. But and I'll talk about it more later. But like you said, Agatha, all along, the Penguin. If you haven't picked that up yet on Max, definitely stop what you're doing, watch the Penguin. You will love it. And they're still finishing up Only Murders in the Building. I'll talk more about that as well. But again, just another great season of that.
I'm about to start that
show. Yeah, it's thoroughly enjoyable as the prior few seasons are. So that's about it, guys.
Nice.
All right. We will take a break. We're going to go back with pop culture headlines in our Ask an Idiot segment. More sports related topics in the next segment that ties to Northeast Ohio as well, like the Guardians. So we'll tell you about that after the break. Gen X Brian here from the Convincing Idiots podcast. If you're enjoying our show, tell a friend. And if you're not, well, tell two enemies.
Four, three.
All right, welcome back to Convincing Idiots segment 2. It's a spooky season,
Deuces.
Gentlemen, yes. Intriguing movie. I don't know if you saw the preview for this or not on Netflix. That's coming out soon. I think it's on Netflix. Yeah. So let's see. It's called Woman of the Hour. So there was a serial killer, Rodney Alcala. He actually appeared on the dating game television show. So his appearance it was like an inspiration to write a movie, kind of portraying, that he met a potential victim on the show. So I think he won, and the winner just had some bad vibes and just, I'm not going to go out with him. The guy was later convicted. I don't remember.
Life.
Yes. Let's see here. I don't know how many. Let's see. Here he is. He could have been actually responsible for the deaths of more than 100 people.
Shit.
And he died of natural causes at age 77 on death row in California. So this movie stars star and director Anna Kendrick. So she's done some good work in movies. Funny, good actress.
She did that Cup song. That was good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's
so
in
he
the Twilight
appeared.
movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, so he appeared on the show in 1978. Doing a date with Bachelorette Cheryl Bradshaw. So that's who she plays.
So they want dates and not money?
They want a date. That was the idea of the dating game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a as a man or a woman. Typically it was a woman, and you would ask questions to 3 random bachelors that you could not see. And it typically got a little bit racy and all that stuff. And then you would pick a bachelor and you go on a date, and that was it. Or sometimes they did it that way. If you go back and look at some old footage, there were some pretty big stars that back in the 70s, before they became movie stars, including, Steve Martin was on there, Arnold Schwarzenegger was on there. There was a lot of stars at the time before they hit it big were guests on that show as a bachelor, so anyway.
Big deal. You can ask all the questions you want and get a date. If you call Aaron Blake with Blake Insurance and you ask him, he will ask you questions and he will save you money.
Mm-hmm.
Because let me tell you, Blake Insurance is an Erie insurance agency located right here in Barberton, Ohio. They provide auto, home, renters, and business insurance with honesty, decency, and affordability. Erie Insurance is above all else in service. You want to call 234-571-5359 or visit BlakeInsuranceLLC.com for your free 5-minute quote today. And when you do, when you call him, he's going to ask you these questions, like the dating game. But instead of getting a date, you're going to save a lot of money. And you will be better in the end.
Mm-hmm.
Bachelor number 1. I'm a lonely girl looking for honesty, affordability, and decency. What would you do to provide to ensure that I have all those things?
I'm going to give you the best insurance in town with Blake Insurance.
See, better lead in.
Yeah,
that was a better lead. So, does the Woman of the Hour movie is it intriguing to you, Nick? Do you like the serial killer type movies?
I want to see somebody sell
you?
insurance over a dating show. Is what I want to see. Yeah,
sure.
Yeah,
sure.
I do.
I should be
no, that does sound interesting. It's a different kind of spin on things.
I'd watch it. Hell yeah. I mean, it's already kind of a scary premise in itself. If you take away like any sort of like written Hollywood suspense horror, whatever, just the premise of the dating game alone, maybe not back in the 70s or 80s, but like today, is a frightening premise.
Yeah,
sure.
So, like, what better way to like make a horror movie than already take a scary idea and a ridiculous idea, honestly, and put those together? I'm very intrigued. I think it sounds cool.
It'd be very creepy feeling to know that you turned down a date because you had a weird feeling and learned the guy was a serial killer.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
You know how many girls said no to me are thankful?
Yep.
Sure. Yep.
All of them.
They're sorry now.
That's right.
That's
They
the
could
guy.
put it in the
That's the
papers.
guy pitching Blake Insurance globally.
You missed your chance, ladies.
Yeah.
Yep. Keep your
Good
heard
luck.
all the way in Botswana, pitching
Mhm.
Blake
Good luck
Insurance.
finding honesty, decency, and affordability over in this neck of the woods.
God damn right.
You missed it.
You
Mhm.
could have had all of that and this hairline.
Yep.
Ooh.
Y'all fucked up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Did you see the Bath and Body Works candle that was discontinued, gentlemen? What was it called? The winter.
Oh yeah.
I can't seem to find the name here. It was a
It was the label
Winter
red and white.
Wonder or something like that.
What does it smell like?
White power.
Well, that's what some people thought it might smell like. Yeah.
It smells like what? What'd you say?
Yeah. White
So-
power. It's the logo.
It was a snowflake,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh,
and
is
then
it for real?
Yeah.
this is for real. You can look it up. Now it's discontinued since. Guarantee somebody's got that fucking candle and somebody's going to
Mhm.
make some money on
Yeah.
eBay or something like that with it. But
The ends of the snowflakes looked like KKK hoods. People were saying they looked like a bunch of little KKK.
Jesus.
see it at first, like someone's like, "What does that look like?" I'm like, a snow. I thought it was a flower, maybe,
Yeah.
or something.
Or you know
like
those
that.
things that kids, that, like the little fold up things, and they cut out the
Yeah,
corners,
yeah.
and then
Yeah, you got the
and it's like
napkins.
snowflakes or
Yeah.
stars, and like as a pattern. Kind of
That's
look
what
like
it was
one of those.
supposed to be. I think that's what
Yeah.
it was supposed to be, right? Was to look like that. So, some people said, yeah, it looked like KKK hoods, and they pulled it.
Jesus.
So I just quick thoughts. Just because I'm quite sure that Bath and Body Works was not intentionally putting out a product that
No.
looked like the Ku Klux Klan hoods. Okay. So some people saw it and called it out, and certainly they got big pressure to take it off the market. So is it the people who saw that you should blame, kind of, or is it? I mean, should they have taken it off the market? I mean,
Nick, go ahead. Full disclosure, Nick, go ahead because I'm looking this up. I need to see this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know that. Like you said, Brian, they didn't intend to. I don't think there was any subliminal messaging going on or any type of
No.
call for white power or like whatever, white supremacy through this candle. However, that is the age that we live in, and like your marketing team has to be proactive about these things.
Yeah.
Like you have to think. I mean, I don't know.
100% 4 or 5 Klan hoods on the front of your goddamn
So you see it right away. Yeah. Okay.
percent.
Now, do
Yeah.
you think you would have seen it had you not, like, if you just looked at the label in Bath and Body and we weren't having this conversation or saying that, would you have seen it?
Yes, only for the simple fact that they're not even like little circles. They are oval eye
Yeah.
shape.
Yeah.
That would have stuck out without even the story. That is 5 Klansmen sitting on a log.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So, like, I could tell, for example, I learned of this from Weekend Update this week on SNL. They did a little
Mhm.
thing about, there was a little thing about that. And it was one of those things where before they even got into the story, like Dean, when I saw the candle, and knowing it's Weekend Update, I'm like, oh, I know where this is going because I know what that resembles. You know what I mean? It definitely does have a striking appearance that resembles white hoods, right? So no, I don't think it was intentional. I don't think anything was intended by it. But like I said, your marketing department, whether you see it or you don't see it, and you think people are overreacting, or you're like, yeah, no, that's ridiculous. You can't have that. whatever side of that you land on, at the end of the day, you have to know
You're
that in the year of our Lord 2024, if there can be anything for people to find like that, they're probably going to. You need to get it. Your marketing department has to, especially for a company that large. You have to you have to think of that stuff ahead of time. You have to always be looking at things through a lens of what
Did
are
you
people seeing when they look at this? How does this present? What's that?
the video give you a thumbs up?
Oh,
You're talking about no. Like Nick was saying, in a corporate, a multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar, whatever you want to say, corporate company like Bath and Body, you have many steps before it gets on the shelf.
right.
Yeah. Right.
Let's take away the idea of like, oh, we need a snowflake. Take away the idea portion of it. You have an artist. It starts with the artist. And that artist will render and then submit it to this guy who submits this guy. It is approved by so many different goddamn channels before it gets to the shelf. And one of those channels is back to the upper echelon, I'm assuming, the upper echelon of Bath and Body that has to give the final approval before you see it on the shelf.
Right.
So I agree with Nick. I don't think it was intentional. I hope it wasn't intentional. But yes, they are accountable for the imagery because of it's not like you go, the artist put it out. I can't believe he would have done such a thing. You don't have that excuse. You have so many different people that sees that image before it is printed, put on the line, wrapped around the thing. Then it's going to go into packaging. There are so many goddamn levels before anybody sees that. What I'm looking at now of the 5 happy fucking Klansmen on Bath and Body candle.
At least they're happy.
They look happy. Somebody, anybody, so many people should have seen that. So, are they responsible? Absolutely. Even if it's everybody, even if the highest guy goes, I don't see it. It just looks like snowflakes. Somebody had to have seen what we see.
Right.
And that is, you only need one. You only need one person to go, that kind of looks like a line of Klansmen kind of all next to each other. That one guy said that, everybody goes, fuck, back to the drawing board.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, I would have to imagine that they're probably revisiting their quality control plan on the next artwork that goes out on the candle. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Missed something somewhere, like you said. Okay, we talked about baseball here, guys. Just a quick acknowledgement here. One of the greatest pitchers ever pitched for the LA.
The next.
What?
I'm sorry, or I know we're going past it, but the next candle coming up for Bath and Body Works.
Go ahead.
It's the river with people swimming across it. Anyway, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. One of the greatest pitchers to ever pitch for the LA Dodgers, who just made it to the World Series as well, just passed away, age 63, Fernando Valenzuela. So Nick probably never saw him pitch. Dean, I saw him as a kid.
I did.
He was the only pitcher to ever win in the same year Rookie of the Year and a Cy Young Award. How about that? And he was one of the, certainly was an inspiration to Latinos to play baseball. He's Mexican born.
My last candle joke seems ill-timed, but
He did not make the Baseball Hall of Fame, but he made the Dodgers Hall of Fame or their Ring of Honor or what have you.
that he's not in the Baseball Hall of Fame. He really should be.
I
right?
think his career was
Don't try
cut
to
shorter
backpedal
with.
so hard now.
I think it was cut shorter
like,
with injuries and stuff. I don't
But
know.
everything he's done, I don't know.
I mean, you would think so.
Probably.
I mean, from his overall contributions to the game, and again, he's the only guy to ever win the Rookie of the Year and a Cy Young. That's a pretty high accomplishment there.
Probably at least touch in a little bit, right?
Yeah, you would think so. I don't know, but he was commentating for the Dodgers radio on their Spanish speaking broadcast. He suddenly left and didn't really announce why, and then he was just hospitalized. So maybe he
in a game.
Knew it was, what's that?
Like during a game?
No. He had the gig and he resigned suddenly.
Gotcha.
And then maybe he knew he was getting sick or something like that, and just suddenly passed on. So, but career accomplishments are very solid, and again, certainly very well known in the Dodger community. So, Dean, did you ever remember watching him pitch as a kid?
Yeah, absolutely. Great pitcher. It stinks. How old was he?
63.
That's super fucking young.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. You just don't like hearing that. What, Brian? You're what doing? 78. So I mean, it's
not quite.
Scary. No, yeah. It was great pitcher. I totally think he should be in the Hall of Fame. I hope that posthumously he does get in.
Mm-hmm.
As I think he deserves. That's a shame.
I remember he had that unusual motion where he would look up at the sky. So while he was winding up, he would look up.
He's like rocking back type deal.
Yeah. So if you've ever watched him throw, I mean, I'm sure there's tons of YouTube clips, I'm sure, but he always looked up and then, through the balls. It's very unusual. So
I know I got confused there in thinking that, he had left, the broadcast, and got sick. But I do want it to be known. If we're ever doing this, and this is more towards Brian, if we're ever doing this podcast and for whatever reason I die here in the chair, you post that shit, right? Like you continue the show. Once you're done with the show, then call the cops or the ambulance.
Yeah.
And post that fucking show because that's going to be a high rated show. Like you have a dead dude on the show, you post that show.
When they come to get you, like, officer, sir, can you drop in for the rest of the show? We usually do 3. Can you just sit in the chair?
Like you guys continue to do the show, and they're fucking pumping on my chest and shit.
Yeah,
and
sure.
Touching my dick and you should do that.
We would absolutely do it because it'd be a rare time where you would be on camera and Nick and I could both complete a sentence.
Yeah.
Throughout the entire.
It's a win-win for everybody, really.
That's right.
Yeah, it really is.
Sure.
I'll just add, by the way, so that rookie season for Fernando in 81, they went on to win the World Series against the New York Yankees, ironically. So I think that's the last time those two franchises played in the World Series was all the way back then. And now they're about to do so again. So, Nick, do you ever see Fernando pitch? Or
nobody cares, Brian.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No, I can't say that I have. I never saw a baseball game until 2001. So that is the honest to God truth. So
all right.
I missed anything before Randy Johnson, basically.
Robin was introduced to baseball.
There you go. Well, more sports topics here, guys. So we'll get to our Ask an Idiot question. So over the weekend, quarterback of the Cleveland Browns, Deshaun Watson, was hurt in the game. He was a non-contact injury, and he took a step forward or something. It looked like he ruptured his Achilles, and that does appear to be what happened. And they carted him off the field. It was a home game in Cleveland. And you could hear, not all fans, of course, but some fans were cheering the fact that he was injured and being carted off the field. So we definitely know this in Northeast Ohio, but if you're not that familiar, Deshaun Watson, what the Cleveland Browns traded for him a couple years ago, he at the time was the highest guaranteed contract in NFL history at $230 million. Traded away a few first round picks. So they really put the future on the line to bring him in from the Houston Texans franchise. And he had allegations of harassment for
A lot of
different
them.
masseuses,
22, I believe.
just a lot. Yeah, it was ridiculous. He wound up settling those. He was suspended his first season here for at least 8 games,
He
something
had
like
more
that.
accusations than touchdowns.
That's a true stat, unfortunately. So he keeps getting hurt. I mean, it's tough when a guy gets hurt not to play the full season. He really, it's not like the offensive line is really protecting him a lot either. But anyway, at the very least, he's not lived up to potential, both on the field and still some questionable allegations off the field, or some other allegations have creeped up here. But it did make a lot of news around here, and some players spoke out on fans that were cheering him getting hurt. So this would bring us to our ask an idiot question. So Nick, I probably took it too much of a setup there, but this is your question, sir. So what is your question of the week, sir?
How
Well,
dare you eat up so much of his time? You son of a bitch.
the question is simply, and this one is a little bit different, but it basically boils down to fan etiquette, right? What is proper fan etiquette? Because certainly fans pay a lot of money to be at those games, and quite honestly, there's the side of you feel free to cheer or boo or support or show your emotions towards the game in whatever way you see fit. You're free to do that. You paid to be there, right? But also there's no doubt of the morality part of it, and is that ethical? What's the line there? What is the code for ethics of the fan, I guess, is kind of the question. How do you feel about this one specifically? Because I mean, we've seen different examples of this over the years, and different whether it's rivals playing games against each other or whatever. But where is that line, I guess, for you personally? Like I said, this one is a little bit different because of what Brian said. There's all the allegations and charges against him on many different counts. So where do you guys land on this? So Dean, let's start with you. You're the biggest Browns fan amongst us. So what are your thoughts on what happened and transpired this week with Deshaun Watson's injury in the Cleveland Browns?
I'm going to start with this. I'm going to go long-winded, so please, you two, interrupt. Honestly, so when needed, because.
Okay, thanks. Brian, where do you land on that then?
All right, here we go. All right, first of all, Deshaun Watson. I would like to think that the majority of the fans in the stands booing him when he got hurt was not necessarily booing a human being being injured and like in pain and might be out for the season. I would like to think that they were what booing and cheering for the idea that the season might be different going forward. That he had, it wasn't his fault. He took the money. Any of us would have taken the deal that he did. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's not on him. But they saw their season. What they last saw was Joe Flacco take it to the fucking playoffs, and now we have this overpriced guy. So I think it was the frustration. It wasn't necessarily. Again, I'm sure there was some assholes out there that weren't. I'm sorry, that were cheering for him being hurt. And fuck them. There's no room, not in sports, but just in human decency, to cheer somebody for getting hurt. Unless it's like, Nick flipping and falling, cracking his nuts on like a pole or something. That's fun. But other than that, there's no fucking. Yeah, he calls you. There's no room or reason for anybody to cheer another human being getting hurt.
Yeah.
My idea is that you cheer
for football reasons.
No, horrible timing, but like you're almost like excited that your season might have a new life. Because
I think that's worse.
Okay, I'm giving you my opinion.
No, I know. Well, you said it. No, I mean to debate it. I mean, but I would argue that's even worse. You know what I mean? Like because it's based around just the game at that point. That it has nothing to do with morals or ethics. It's simply based on football. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, in my opinion, I would say that's a worse reason to like cheer for. You know what I mean? Like his injury.
You're right, but name me a time when you handed over a ticket to the ticket booth to walk into an NFL, MLB, NBA stadium and go, I want to go watch what this guy does in real life. No, you're paying money. All of these professional sports have so much same idea as professional wrestling. You are going there to get real life out of the way. You are going to that stadium or that arena and you are paying your whatever amount of money to escape real life. So when you do that, when you go in and boo Roman Reigns for being, for dastardly doing something to the good guy, or you cheer Joe Flacco for throwing a touchdown. When you go into these arenas, this is gladiator shit. This isn't real life to you. These are fans that are going in to escape outside this arena. So they go in there. You can't. It sucks that they do it. I agree. But the reason they're doing this is because we have all been trained and processed to go into these arenas and cheer and boo these gladiators. So, yes, he gets hurt, and that sucks. I really feel bad for the guy. But the fans around them have paid, and they're, tap into fucking alcohol also. They are in a gladiator setting, which the athletes and the owners have put us in. So we are the Roman audience cheering and booing gladiators, whether it be NBA, NHL, Major League Baseball, WWE. It is all fan service. We are here to experience life outside of actual life. So, yes, I agree. It does suck that they boo him, and it's wrong, and it sucks. But the reasoning is because we are conditioned and we are allowed to express ourselves. We have paid the money to boo or cheer. That's what it is.
Okay. Nick, what do you think?
I think in a vacuum where I let. So here's where I don't. That's interesting that the way you painted it, and I really liked hearing that side of it because I think, and that's like me. That's my problem personally. I don't separate sports from. I'm not. I don't think I'm going to be entertained. That is life to me. Like that is like when I'm watching us, and like when it's a sport that I'm like that is my life. Like that is like there is no separation. You know what I mean? That is as important. Like this is, and it. Let me just preface this by saying, what I'm about to say is entirely ludicrous, unhinged, and not healthy, and I acknowledge it. Going into a key the importance that I place on the Leafs winning a key playoff game is akin to, I wouldn't say an immediate or someone like very close family member, but it's as important as someone that I know pretty well and like and am somewhat close with them going under surgery for a serious procedure. Like that is as important to me that they pull through that game well as everything goes well for like pretty good friend at work's surgery. Like they're the same. Like, and that's not normal. It shouldn't be that way. But
So
I'm giving
you're gonna
you background.
breast augmentation. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm giving you background from where I look at it. So I have a little bit less of that, like separating. I have a harder time separating, the entertainment value of the game that I'm watching and maybe real world things that go into it. So having said that, my opinion on the whole Watson thing is, um, across the board, as a general rule, should we as people cheer other people being injured? Absolutely not. It is wrong. It is indecent. It's just plain not nice. And that is what it is. However, my human emotional side does not feel bad for this man, not even in the slightest.
Mm.
He's going to be fine. He's not paralyzed. He's not a vegetable. He got a little sports injury while he was playing a game that he is a multi-millionaire for playing.
Be better
So
when
that what's that?
it'll be better when you get the massage.
Yeah. Well, so yeah. That sucks that he's hurt, I guess, but like he's going to be fine. The pain and trauma he's inflicted on multiple women for what he's done that they will carry with them for life is much more serious, and they're not millionaires and they're not going to be fine in some cases. So is it cool to boo him? Is it like, if I was in this, honestly, if I was in that stadium, would I have stood up and cheered his injury with everyone? No, I can confidently tell you I would not, because I
Correct.
feel wrong doing it. But I have in person been to a Browns game when he has been the starting quarterback, and every time the defense is rushing after him, I think, wouldn't it be cool to be there when someone takes him out? So it happened. I'm not sad about it. I have no sympathy for him.
But you put that upon him, Ricky Bobby.
But I put that evil on him. But I'm not. Again, I don't. I also understand that you have to give people the chance to be better. So I don't think it's fair to vilify him forever if he ever shows signs of doing the work and turning things around and maybe doing communities in ways to give back to the community or give back to women who have been abused or something. I just haven't seen it. He just keeps swatting all these there's multiple new allegations that have come along since the 22 that existed when he came here. So that is what it is, right? So no sympathy for the guy. He'll be just fine. His life's not ruined. Even if his career's ruined, his life's not ruined. He's a multimillionaire. He'll be just fucking fine. I'm not worried about him at all. Not sad he got hurt. Not happy he got hurt. Certainly not sad he got hurt. But yes, he is a human being with feelings. Sorry his feelings got hurt. Whatever. You hurt other people. It is what it is. But no, not really cool en masse to get up and cheer for someone being injured. So that's kind of where I land on it. I mean, to this day, I hate the Philadelphia Eagles with a passion because they did that to Michael Irvin when he got injured. I remember watching that as a little boy and as a Cowboys fan and being so, just I couldn't believe people would actually cheer for someone to be hurt, even if it was on the other team. And that has stuck with me to this day. I hate that team and root against them at every single opportunity. So, I mean, it's fucked up. It's wrong. Like, it's messed up.
The idea of sitting there as a child and listening to people fucking like cheer their fucking hearts out as if the Pittsburgh Steelers are an actual football team just disgusted me.
That's right.
Yeah. But I mean, I like the players that came to his aid. I just want one more little quick point on that. I get where they're coming from. They know him as a teammate, and that's what you do. That's that mentality. We've all, that's your. I mean, you go to battle with those guys. Those are your brothers, and that's not going to make them feel good to hear that.
Would feel bad. I would feel You know what I mean? Like I'd be pissed off if they didn't do that.
Sure. But some of them went far. Like I heard
Went-
Myles Garrett say he's been an upstanding citizen. And shit. Like, okay, man, pump the fucking brakes. Like now you're just
Yeah.
lying. Like, calm down.
Dude, don't talk
But
to him
yeah,
about Garrett.
I don't know. I don't think it's cool, but I'm not totally like there's worse people there. You know what I mean? If this happened to Tom Brady, let's say, and a lot of people dislike Tom Brady and hate Tom Brady because of all his success, and he's the greatest to probably ever fucking do it, and people hate him for it. And there's different things of theories of why they hate him. Some people think he cheated. Some people think he did that. Whatever. He's never done anything that I know of that's on record that's legitimately been reported on that has been like that's a garbage human being kind of activity, right? So if people were booing Tom Brady, I would be like, there's absolutely
Garbage
no
are two
room for
different
that.
things.
Sure. So, but I don't know. I mean, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. But yeah, I
It's
just
over
don't.
Trump's, though.
I think there's definitely you know there's worse guys that it could have happened to, I guess. But you know, like I said, he's not paralyzed. He'll be fine, and that is good news. You know, hopefully he gets his fucking head put on straight and maybe it humbles him a little bit and maybe this puts some perspective into him. I don't know. Or maybe he'll keep being a piece of shit and he'll be defensive. I don't know. Who knows? But
Whatever
it is what it is.
As long as he does it in retirement, that's all I care.
All right.
Yeah.
Brian, what
Yeah,
were you thinking? Did you watch the game? Were you watching it when it happened?
I wasn't watching the game. I saw just the highlights. I, yeah, I agree. You can't don't boo an injury. It's really as simple as that. If they benched him during a game and you want to cheer for that to send your message to the management and him and that's all that to me. That's perfectly fine. You could boo a guy. You know, if it just don't cross a line. You know, the booing an injury is definitely crossing a line. You know, certain commentary, you know, insulting family. You know, there's lines that you know what the lines are. You just don't cross those lines. But you have every right to boo poor performance, you know, poor coaching, poor play, you know, poor execution, all that type of stuff. Or it's just a guy that's so good on the other team, you're booing him, and that probably fuels the guy to perform even harder anyway. But yeah, just don't boo an injury. He's going to go down in Browns history probably as a representation of poor management decisions.
Oh, buddy,
That's
join the
exactly that's what it's going to be.
There's a treasure
The
trove of
Browns have made
quarterbacks.
No,
man.
no.
From a player perspective,
Yeah.
he's going to go down
Well, not
as
only
one of the
players,
as the worst, probably the worst contract in sports history.
exactly. The contract compared to how he played
Yeah.
is be. It has
Yep.
to be up there with the top at least three
Yeah.
worst ideals in management, sports management.
Absolutely. He's going to wind up costing a lot of jobs. And I think the booing was not necessarily that. Some fans, I'm sure, would just don't like him
Just
and booing him. Some probably were booing the fact of that they're just frustrated with the Browns organization and are cheering the fact that, you know, this mistake is now over, not probably thinking how they were, you know, that they were actually booing a human for getting hurt, you know, whatever. So it's really as simple as that. Don't boo an injury. Don't cross the line. But definitely boo, like I said, boo performance, boo execution, stuff like that, but not an injury. So that's it. All right. Okay. All right, guys, we're going to take our final break, come back with our final thing. Go ahead. You got something else?
No,
Get injured?
no, yeah. I pulled a hammy there. Maybe. What do you guys want to rub it there during the break? Maybe. No. Anybody, Brian? Brian, your hands are so meaty and soft. Oh, geez. And I'm done.
Put them meat cleavers on me, baby. Let's go.
Get a towel. Oh boy.
We'll get you stretched out.
Yeah. Right.
We haven't even done a break, have we?
Nope. And before this segment gets stretched out any further, we're going to snap it and come back for our third and final segment.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Three.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to segment number 3 of Convincing Idiots. I'm Millennial Nick, alongside Gen X Brian and Zennial Dean, and it is spooky season, boys and girls. And as spooky season approaches and commences, for our third and final segment this week, we're going to be discussing some of our favorite portrayals of the devil,
Running with the Knicks.
or demons, or what have you, things of that nature in pop culture, TVs, film, what have you. So, Dean, let's start with you. You're my favorite little devil. Why don't you go ahead and start?
Oh, I am a little devil. I'm wearing red because
You are.
I'm Nick's favorite little devil.
And I see you're sporting one little horn below the camera down there.
Well, it's not that big, but I'm surprised you see it. All right. I am horny, and my first pick, my first pick is the only pick, and I don't, Nick, you and I have any idea what I'm talking about, but Brian, I know you do, I would think.
Airplane.
The number one and only devil in any TV show or movie shall and will always be George Burns.
Mm.
Oh God, you devil! And there was a couple sequels after that. But George Burns, he played God and the devil in the same movie. Nick, I know you have no clue who George Burns is whatsoever.
Is that Mr. Burns from The Simpsons?
It is not. It is not. George Burns was one of the most famous actors in television and movies. Started on vaudeville and in radio.
Couldn't have been that famous. I don't know.
You're fucking gonna come on a sheet. George Burns, Brian, come on, agree with me here. George Burns.
That was on my honorable mention list, Dean. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, Nick, when we were in the 80s, he was an older man then, so he was kind of famous.
He's always been. He died at like 101 or some shit.
Yes. Yeah, so he was, again, very famous when he was young. And then in the 80s, he was an older man, still very, spry and everything, making movies and doing all these talk show appearances and everything like that. So he was very popular until he passed away. I got like one of these beloved type figures, in our time.
Radio and TV and movies. The famous line at the end of the night: "Say goodnight, Gracie." Good night, Gracie.
Yeah. Gold. Comedy gold right there.
Gold, Jerry. Gold. George Burns, oh God, you devil, is my number one and only devil in TV and films.
Good.
Brian, let's go with you since you're next to me from where I see.
My favorite portrayal of the devil, Satan on South Park. There you have it. So the South Park TV show and certainly the movie, bigger, longer, uncut.
Mm-hmm.
Just an hilarious version of the devil. He had the evil side. He had the whole weird affair with Saddam Hussein, which was really shocking, crazy, over the top. He was very sensitive.
Saddam,
he was the master.
How come you don't look at me in the eyes when we're making love anymore?
Just hilarious. That's it. One of my favorite portrayals of the devil, right there.
Yeah, very good.
Very good.
Yep,
very good. I also have South Park's Satan on my list as well. Also, in a similar tone, I have. For the same reason, because it was a different side of the devil, I have Hardy Keitel's version of Satan in Little Nicky. He is Nicky's father, and even though he is the ruler of hell, he still has this soft spot for his sweet boy, Little Nicky.
Who portrayed it?
Harvey Keitel was his name. He's a
Harvey Keitel.
Keitel. Keitel. Okay, yeah.
I thought I heard it, but yeah, okay.
Okay, I mispronounced. Yes, but Keitel. Yes, but just fantastic. He was, this, and he's up there shoving pineapples up Hitler's ass and doing all his
One should.
yeah. But he's always looking out for Nikki, and because he's such a sweet boy, and he, whatever. So I like the soft side of the devil there,
Sure.
by Harvey Keitel. So
Very good.
little Nicky. Dean.
All right. I'm going sexy. The sexy
Mhm.
devil.
Okay.
Who is sexier, especially in the 90s, than Elizabeth Hurley?
Also on my list. Yep.
In Bedazzled with Brendan Fraser. Fucking hilarious movie.
It's very underrated comedy. Like very underrated.
Like just the wishes type, situation that they did with him.
The way she would twist them and fuck them over.
Right. Just so good. And she was great. I don't know what happened to her in the after the 90s, but
dude, she looks the same. I follow her on Instagram. She's in swimsuits every day, and she looks exactly the same.
Not doing what she did in the 90s, which was awesome.
Yeah.
Which also includes playing the devil in Bedazzled. Elizabeth Hurley is next to my list.
Yep. You seen Bedazzled, Brian?
Man, it's been a long time.
So
long
good.
time.
So funny.
Yeah.
It used to be on like TNT or TBS all the time back in the day.
Yeah.
It was
I'm
awesome.
sure it's got to be on streaming out there somewhere.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Brian, who's next on your list?
I'm moving to a demon, one of the coolest, creepiest, scariest portrayals of a demon on film. Doug Bradley, who played Pinhead in the Hellraiser movies. The character, certainly one of the most interesting looks of any horror character ever on film. I know everybody knows who Pinhead is. The guy with all the pins in his head. He was brought out by the puzzle box, and released the demons. And the other demons are pretty creepy as well that were released with him. But he was just great, terrific look, and the guy just played the role so well. Just had a very authoritarian tone and everything. So if you haven't watched the Hellraiser movies in a while, go back and watch the first one. Still, that first one, in my opinion, still one of the creepiest horror movies around by the great Wes Craven.
We were just talking about that movie the other night. We were laying down looking through movies and stuff, and she was like, "Have you ever seen Hellraiser?" No, and she goes, "Neither have I."
Man,
and I'm like, "I don't really know what it even is about. Like, I know the character Pinhead, but I don't really know anything about it at all. So maybe we'll have to watch one of those one night."
The only thing I know is he's probably really bad at birthday parties, blowing up balloon animals.
Sure.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, not one to watch with the kids, Nick. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Hellraiser. No.
I'll watch it with my kid. Hell, I actually guarantee you he's actually seen it and I haven't. So.
That's probably true.
All right. Okay. No, but definitely check it out.
Okay. My next submission. I'm up next, right?
You are.
My next one is a very somewhat classical take on the devil. Red skin, the horns, the goat legs, even, and it is played by none other than the legendary Dave Grohl in the music video for Tenacious D's Tribute, in which Dave Grohl is in fact the devil. It's just fun that Dave Grohl is the devil, and if you're not familiar, it's Tenacious D obviously is Jack Black and Kyle Gass, their band, and in the song they recant a night in which they were propositioned by the devil to either have their souls eaten or play the best song in the world. So magically, they started to play a song, and what came out just happened to be the greatest song in the world. But the song that you're listening to is, in fact, not that song. It was just a tribute, which is why it's called Tribute. And it's actually really, every time I think about it, it's stupid and it's silly, but like it's also really well thought out, and it's a very clever song, and the music video for it is fantastic. Jack Black's hilarious. Dave Grohl is fantastic as the devil. So Dave Grohl from the Tribute music video is on my list.
Anytime we'd have Dave Grohl on the list is
put him on there. Yep,
absolutely. All right, So my next one, number 3, Jack Nicholson, Witches of Eastwick. It was a
Yep.
movie. I was going through doing some research, and it was a movie. I haven't seen this since I was a kid, but I remember enjoying it. For what it was. It's probably a little older than that I should have been watching to understand. But even as a kid or even today, anything Jack Nicholson is fantastic, and Jack Nicholson as the devil. Of course, why wouldn't he make my list?
Yeah, for sure.
Sure.
Brian?
All right, another demon. One of my favorite actors, period. Certainly in horror movies, he's acted in one of my favorite movie series and television series is the Evil Dead movies and shows. They had the Evil Dead movies. They had the Ash versus the Evil Dead. Bruce Campbell in Army of Darkness played Evil Ash. So it was like an evil, the demon of himself, basically. So he was spawned out of his own body. So he had to fight Evil Ash, who became his nemesis in that movie. Crazy, goofy movie, a lot of fun. But Bruce Campbell as the evil Ash, a lot of fun, great role for him. By the way, I did notice that Bruce Campbell is in a new series on, I think it's Hulu, Hysteria. Looks like here. Him and the actress that was the mom in Modern Family.
Billy Budd.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
so it looks like
Yep.
it looks like it take place in the 80s, and there's the kids that have they decide they're going to make like a Satan thrash metal band just to gain popularity, and they wind up raising hell or raising the devil accidentally or something like that. Looks like a lot of fun. I'm going to check out Hysteria soon out there as well. But Bruce Campbell, Army of Darkness, Evil Ash.
My mama said, "Go out there and raise some hell."
Yeah.
Turned out I went out. It started me a podcast. Nick, what do you got next?
My next one is not necessarily although he did make an appearance in a movie, but primarily from comic books, and that would be Malbolgia from Spawn, the Spawn series.
Sure.
He is,
Yeah.
in fact,
Mhm.
not. He's commonly mistook as like akin to like Satan or the devil, the ruler of hell, but he is in fact just one of the high up ruler demons, I guess, of hell. But he is in charge of leading Hell's army on Earth, and enlists Al Simmons, the mercenary. Huh?
Oh, that's Al Michaels. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. The mercenary, aka Spawn, to lead Hell's army on Earth. And Malbolgia is just a really cool character in the comics. The 1997 movie, again, for its time, Spawn was a special effects masterpiece in the moment at 1997. Watching it now, especially Malbolgia, is all CGI and the best of its time in 97, but his mouth just kind of flaps in the wind with the fire and doesn't really match what he's saying. So it's a different version of him, but certainly the comic rendition, the original of Malbolgia, is definitely a terrifying one and very cool version of a devil. Dean.
All right. I'm going to go next. Okay, this one, I was really proud to remember. I had to look it up to find the actor's name, to be honest. But Jamie Sheridan was the actor who played Randall Flagg in the 1994 The Stand. Stephen King's The Stand.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
They did a remake. I don't know who did the remake. I didn't watch it. But I remember being a kid, 13 years old.
Scary.
The Stand was a cool movie. And that guy would, he had a weird, 90s hair mullet situation going on. Kind of a cool guy. But then when Randall Flagg turned into the devil in those scenes, fuck, that was scary.
Yeah.
I mean, and he was just And then after that, once he did it once, you knew every scene that guy played it as in like, I control this fucking room. Any room I'm in, I control it. Like he held like such a gravitas after that one scene of seeing him with the red devil face. That dude played everything to where you were very uncomfortable in every scene he was in. Was he Jamie Sheridan was fucking phenomenal in that I believe 94 or 93.
It was 94. I remember, Dean, I was moving out of my parents' house, and I would come home and move, and I was recording that on the VHS.
Yeah. So
and I
good.
would stop everything. I remember there were a couple times I had nothing in my bedroom at my parents' house but my television and VCR, and I stopped what I was doing just to sit down and watch The Stand because I was so enthralled by it. It was so weird and creepy.
Molly Ringwald.
Yeah.
Rob Lowe.
Yeah, it's good.
Dauber from Coach.
Yep.
Hey, there you go.
Moon spells moon. Yeah, the miniseries was amazing, but that dude was golden. Even when he wasn't like, red-faced devil. Just him as Randall Flagg was phenomenal. So
very good.
As much as like I'm talking about now, I'm thinking about it now, he would be my number one. So that's next on my list. Randall Flagg, Jamie Sheridan.
All right.
The Stand.
Okay.
Ryan?
I've mentioned before that the original Omen was one of my favorite horror movies of all time. So weird and creepy. Just I still can't recommend that movie enough if you're looking for a good scary horror movie. But the original Omen, that was a trilogy. So the second movie was Damien as a boy, not really knowing he was the Antichrist until later in the movie he sort of learns who he was. But the third movie,
I think Damien is just gross.
Yeah, right. Yeah, everybody names a kid Damien. There's something off.
Yeah, I don't like
Something
it.
off. First name, middle name, I don't know.
Doesn't matter. Put it anywhere. Just
not for me.
Icky.
The third Omen movie, though, the third in the original trilogy, Damien is a grown man who fully knows who he is, and he is trying to gain power because he fully knows he's the Antichrist, and he's going to, try to take over the world with using his political power. And the grown Damien was played by Sam Neill. Now, Sam Neill's been in a lot of movies.
Okay.
Certainly was in why can't I think of it right now? Jurassic Park movie.
Yeah, he was
right?
the main character.
Main character. But he played the grown Damien just so good. Very creepy and evil.
He's a good actor.
He really is.
You ever watch him in Peaky Blinders? Fantastic.
Very good. I haven't seen that, but I know that's highly recommended. So, yeah, anyways, if you've not seen the original Omen trilogy, check that out. Watch the whole thing and enjoy Sam Neill as the grown man Antichrist and the whole climactic scenes and everything.
I tried to pull that up. I love Sam Neill.
Yeah, definitely. Highly recommend it. Very creepy, very great. He wasn't the devil, but certainly the son of the devil. So consider that like a demon or whatever. So there you go. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Nick?
All right. Well, we've doubled up on some here, so I had to improvise on a couple of these. And so the next one I've got, devils oftentimes can be kind of slick, and I can't think of a slicker devil that would entice you with something more so than our friends at RPM Bike Shop. They are enticing you with the finest electric bikes that money can buy. It almost feels like a sin, but nay. In fact, it's not. It's a good thing. It is a virtue to have an electric bike because you are going green and you are putting around on your electric bike. You're helping the environment. And if you don't believe me, you can go to their website, which is rpmbikeshop.com, or go to their Facebook page, RPM Bike Shops, in the search bar there to see the wonderful electric bikes, sinfully wonderful electric bikes they have to offer you. They're located in Carrollton, Ohio, and you can give them a call at 330-808-7792 today. So fun, so awesome to be on your own electric bike. The slickest devils you know at RPM Bike Shop are going to entice you with their sinfully eco-friendly rides on an RPM electric bike.
Ever went down to Carrollton, he had a soul to steal. Never mind. Go ahead. Never mind. I don't even know what that means.
Go
All
ahead, Nick. With your actual.
They were one of mine, but I'll go with this one instead. I also I improvised as well. Trigor, which is Raven's father from Teen Titans. Raven is the daughter of a demon in the underworld. I will not profess to know a lot about the character from the original comic book or Teen Titans, the original series, but like a lot of my other picks in Teen Titans Go, he's hilarious. He's a loving and doting father who just wants to have a good relationship with his teenage daughter. And it's very fun. I've talked many times about how much I enjoy Teen Titans Go. So it's a great kids show and one that I enjoy as an adult as well. So Trigor is on my list as well.
Excellent.
That's so Raven. Okay, so my next on my list is final one on my list. Tom Ellis from the television show on Fox, Lucifer.
Yeah, okay, that's right.
I only went a few seasons, but again, kind of like Jamie Sheridan from The Stand, he had a gravitas about him as the plain face. Like he would be regular human face, and then when he needed to or whatever, he would show his devil face. But the most menacing and manipulative part was when he was just in his regular human form, and that dude played the cocky, just no, he knew everything. Not only everything, but he knew everything. So the devil, he's been around for millennia. But that dude just played the role so perfectly. You hated him in the same breath as you enjoyed watching him. Great series. He did a great part as Lucifer. So Jamie Sheridan, I'm sorry, it was the other guy. Tom Ellis for Lucifer is my final pick.
Very good. Almost close to Zennial Dean, but people hate seeing him as much as they hate listening to him.
Tough spot to be in.
That's a really good. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Close.
Yeah.
My favorite show, one of my favorite shows of all time, as you guys know, is The Twilight Zone. I'm wearing a Mystic Seer with a Devil's Head on T-shirt now, a Devil's Head tattoo.
That's what that is. That's what I said earlier.
Yeah.
All right.
The Twilight Zone had many cool portrayals in its run of the devil. One of my favorites, it's on my list, Thomas Gomez, who played the devil in an episode called The Escape Clause. So this was a guy that wanted to live forever, signs a contract with the devil, and decides that the ultimate way he's going to try to test if he can live forever is to not live forever, but be immortal. Like he's impervious to injury. That's really what it is. He's impervious to sickness and injury, and he can only die when he chooses to die. He has to call the devil and release himself from the contract. He's like, well, I'll never release myself from the contract. And he decides that he was going to test the electric chair. Inevitably, it doesn't turn out well for him. What's that?
It would hurt, right?
You think it would hurt? So he murders his wife, and then he he's trying to get thrown in jail and get the death sentence. And of course, he is sentenced to life in prison with no parole. So he can live forever and he'll never die in prison. So he decides to call upon the devil to relieve him from his contract. And there you go. But this is one of those portrayals of the devil as like the businessman. You know what I'm saying? Just the slick hair, the suit, the contract, doing business, signing, convincing, that type of thing. So I like that version of the devil as well. So very good portrayal by Thomas Gomez back in the 60s.
Nice.
Very good. But,
Yep. Is that everybody's 5?
All right.
Nick's got one, but Brian, you would like Lucifer. That's the same kind of.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I never watched it, but I definitely know the show.
Good. You're going to check that out.
Yep. So Nick, this is your 5th. I always mess you up and pass your
You're
5th.
good. My last one, I'm like I said, we doubled up on a few. I also had South Park and I had Elizabeth Hurley as well. But I'm going to go back to Little Nicky and say Rodney Dangerfield because in Little Nicky, not only it's like a monarchy, right? There are many people who have been the devil, and Harvey Keitel's dad previously, who was the devil, was Rodney Dangerfield. And in Little Nicky, Rodney Dangerfield is stumbling around hell in a bathrobe and, wreaking havoc and doing his thing and enjoying his retirement. So, yeah, we'll throw Rodney Dangerfield in there as well.
Great.
Yep. That's it.
Any honorable mentions, guys?
I used all mine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everything. Others?
Yeah, no, everything like you, everything you guys said were on my honorable mentions.
Couple quick. Al Pacino as a devil and Devil's Advocate. I don't think that one came up with Keanu Reeves.
Yep.
Mercedes.
I guess. I'm sorry. Yeah, that was on. Actually, I crossed that. That was going to be my number 1, but I moved that to honorable mentions. But
okay.
Yeah, that was it.
Al Pacino. Mercedes McCambridge, you don't know the actress name at all, but she played Pazuzu from The Exorcist. So those weird, creepy scenes of they show the demon, the white face, and that was a female actress who played that role. Dean, I had George Burns, I mentioned already, and 3 more from the Twilight Zone. Burgess Meredith played the devil in an episode called The Printer's Devil. Julie Newmar, who you might know as Catwoman on the original Batman TV show. She played the devil, like a sexy, business-like devil, in an episode called I Think of Cliffordville. Another guy named Robin Hughes played the devil in The Howling Man. Again, one of my favorite episodes of all time, The Twilight Zone. So the devil guys were super quick. Devil has been portrayed. You get the demon, the demonic devil, the traditional looking devil with the horns and that type of thing. Or it seems like you tend to get more of the human form, the business like slick. What version do you prefer? Is there a version of the devil you prefer, Nick? Quick.
Depends on the application, right? If it's meant to take place in modern day and it's like the devil walks among us, I don't think that's the better time to use your more the version of the devil that is more appealing to the common man, right? But if it's a hellfire and brimstone kind of thing, like I definitely like the creepy devils. I mean, visually I prefer those versions of the devil when you're like in hell and you see this creature, standing before you, that kind of thing. So I'd probably lean that way visually. I would go for the more traditional devil style.
Very good. Dean, what do you think?
I think that's wrong. Anyways, we're going to move on. All right. No, I actually prefer the slick devil because if you're going on the story of the Bible, the fallen angel, he is going to be a backbiter. He is going to, to be the false prophet. He's going to be he's going to be the liar, right?
Yep.
One of the best things, or one of the best lies the devil ever told was that he didn't exist. That whole situation of him not being the demon, he's the manipulator. So any portrayal of him as the slick, keep you on your toes, I'm the cool guy until I don't have to be type deal. That's my favorite portrayal.
Yeah, I'm with you. That's what I like. If it like the devil on earth type figure,
Right?
Male
Right.
or female, like you say, that's what it would be. The liar, the manipulator. Figuring out a way to, cheat you out of your soul type thing.
Yeah.
Sign the contract and that type of thing. So, yeah.
Oh, make no mistake, I'll take Elizabeth Hurley devil over any of the ones that were mentioned tonight.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, that Julie Newmar episode, it's also a fine looking devil.
Yeah.
In that particular episode in the early 60s, for sure.
But we all can agree that the scariest devil has orange hair, right? Right? Well, we have
And
10
face.
people. Use it fucking wisely.
Yep.
All right.
Very good.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to summon our own little devil, Millennial Nick.
King Penis.
Please,
all right.
Please.
Get little devil. Get little devil.
Yeah. All right. Please exit
All right.
this.
Yes. We are exiting this mortal coil of this podcast. So if you have not already done so, feel free to find us on your favorite social media accounts. You can find links to all of them on our link tree. Go to Google, type in Convincing Idiots, LINKTREE, and go follow us, subscribe.
I'm so bad I would have you do this in the devil's voice.
Rate and review. Saddam, how come you haven't gone and liked our pages on Linktree yet? How come you haven't subscribed to my OnlyFans? You're the one that talked me into making one. Go over to our website. Come on, guy. Don't be like that. Go to our website, which is convincingidiots.wordpress.com. And for this episode of Convincing Idiots, another spooky season episode, I am Millennial Nick.
Millennial D.
Gen X Brian.
Have we convinced you to come back and just cuddle with us sometime?
Did you say come?
Cuddle. Why does it always have to be about sex with you?
Hey, Dean with Convincing Idiots. Brian and Nick here. Like and subscribe.
Ham grape.
I'm hopeful. There maybe is just a glimmer of hope, or maybe it's just been what I've been seeing recently on Instagram. But I saw an interview with Tom Holland on the Tonight Show with Kimmel, where he was talking, or Fallon, one of them. I think it was Fallon, where he confirmed they are in fact doing a Spider-Man 4. So they confirmed that, and then the very next day I see a reel of Tom Hardy being interviewed at Comic-Con. And they were like, you famously said before that, because this is The Last Dance, this is the last Venom movie you're doing, but was there, you've mentioned maybe certain, things would entice you to bring the character back. And he was like, absolutely, if there was a scenario where Venom were to face Tom Holland's Spider-Man, I absolutely would love that. I'd love to work with him. That would be fun to do. And so just because those have been going around, and I'm just wondering if there's maybe like a fun little scene somewhere or some type of Easter egg that I could pick up on that maybe alludes to something, because I just want that so fucking bad. Like, I want so badly that for there to be I want, like, they owe it to the fans.
No,
Like, the first version of
think
Venom and
about it this
Spider-Man you
way,
gave
Nick.
us was Tobey Maguire and Topher Grace.
Yeah.
Like, you'd make it right. Give me Tom Hardy and Tom Holland.
Think about it this way: you have a whole
Multiverse.
multiverse thing coming up with the
Secret
with
Wars.
Secret Wars and all that.
Hmm.
I don't give a shit what he says to the press. He's going to be. He's the only thing keeping the Sonyverse alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
Yeah, that and the
There's no
Spider-Verse
way.
movies, yeah.
There's no way, and especially since they teased him in the MCU, there's
Yep.
no way he isn't a part of that whole big conglomerate at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guarantee you, he'll be part of it.
Yeah. I need it. I need it.